Every game, every team, every angle. Locked On Game to Game, your team every day.
Hey everyone, and welcome into Locked On Game to Game Big Ten Edition. I'm Jordan Black. Another exciting slate of games for you in Week 10. Ohio State looking to stay undefeated against a Northwestern squad that's hungry for a win. In Lincoln, the Huskers battled it out with Minnesota, and a Big Ten West showdown between Iowa and Purdue as the Boilermakers look to challenge Illinois for the #1 spot in the division. Plus, fifth-ranked Michigan looking to continue its winning ways to push into the college football playoff discussion. But let's get things started with the #2 team in the land visiting Chicago's Big Ten squad. Ohio State is coming off that great win against the Nittany Lions last week. CJ Stroud and Marvin Harrison Jr. proved that they have got an incredible connection, with Harrison's 185 yards receiving, while CJ Stroud threw for 354 yards. All that and a stellar season so far put the Buckeyes as the #2 seed in the first reveal of the college football playoffs. Going to face a team that hasn't won since week 1 in that Ireland win against Nebraska, well, you would think it would be an easy day for the Buckeyes. Locked On Buckeyes host Jay Stevens has the recap for us.
Windy conditions and lack of adjustments were the storylines in this game, as Ohio State struggled in this game but still managed to beat the Northwestern Wildcats by the final score of 21-7. What's up, guys? My name is Jay Stevens, the host of Locked On Buckeyes, and Ryan Day is determined to run a pass-heavy offense no matter how windy the conditions are. This game was windy, it rained a little bit, it was played on grass, and that was a combination that really hurt the Buckeye offense. Ohio State had less total yards than Northwestern, a team who only has one win on the season. Northwestern on offense, their misdirection at Wildcat really baffled the Buckeye defense at time, but this Jim Knowles bend but don't break defense bit quite a bit throughout the game, but did not break. Mike Williams, my guy, came up big with 2 rushing touchdowns for the Buckeyes in this game. When the Buckeyes struggled throughout the entire game to move the ball, Mayan Williams came up big for them. Yes, the Buckeyes have a 14-point win in this one, but they're the #2 team in the country who is not playing like the #2 team in the country. Make sure you check out Locked On Buckeyes this week. We'll have a lot to talk about when it comes to this game and the future games the Buckeyes play in 2022.
And Locked On Northwestern host Carter Bird gives us the Northwestern side of the story.
For the second time this year, the weather tried to allow Northwestern to stay in a game. Hey, everybody, this is Carter Bird with Locked On Northwestern, and the weather did try, but Northwestern falls to Ohio State 21-7. They're 38-point underdogs in the game, but were able to kind of hang in there. Actually got out to that 7-0 lead early and kind of hung in there the entire first half. You had Evan Hull run for 122 yards and a touchdown on 30 carries. Northwestern was 9 of 20 on third down, which all things considered is pretty strong. CJ Stroud was frustrated in the weather and by Northwestern's defense. But in the end, a few big plays with his legs and and just depth really separated these two teams down the stretch as Northwestern dropped their 8th straight game, this time to Ohio State 21-7. But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how this season has gone. At times, Northwestern has hung in these games, but unfortunately 8 straight losses, and now they got to figure out a way to get off the mat here for the final 3 games of the season. But so final score, Ohio State 21, Northwestern 7. For more, check out Locked On Northwestern on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts, your team every day.
If you haven't tried Built Bars yet, do yourself a favor and get a taste of these protein bars that taste like candy bars. What's great about Built is that all of their bars are made with collagen protein, which your body absorbs more efficiently and provides tons of health benefits. Eat something that tastes good and is good for you. You're going to love the new cookie dough chunk puff. That's one of their new flavors. Whether you need a snack for your workout, a late night treat, just something to get you through the day, Built Bar is perfect. It is the perfect bite, the perfect protein bar. And like I said, they taste like candy bars, but better. Ditch the calories, fat, and sugar. Grab yourself a Built Bar. So go to Built.com, use promo code LOCKEDON15 and get 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCKEDON15 and get 15% off your order. Iowa looking to climb in the Big Ten West with a win over the Boilermakers. The Hawkeyes have been up and down all year long, unable to beat any of the top teams in the Big Ten. After tearing Northwestern up last week, Iowa looked to continue its winning ways, and running back Keldon Johnson would be the key. Johnson delivered 185 rushing yards and a touchdown in Iowa's win. Locked on Hawkeyes Trent Condon goes into the huge dub for Iowa.
For the second straight week, Iowa puts up nearly 400 yards of offense as they roll to a 24-3 win against Purdue. I'm Trent Condon live from Circa and Stadium Swim, part of the Locked On Hawkeye Network. As we get going here, Iowa rushes for over 200 yards, including Caleb Johnson, a 200-yard performance on 22 carries. Iowa picks up their 5th win of the season, one game away from now bowl eligibility. They take on Wisconsin next week. Hawkeyes get it done. Check out Locked On Hawkeyes and the Locked On Network for more going forward. We'll talk to you again next week.
Wisconsin visiting the Terrapins this weekend. Maryland boasting a 6-2 record to date, but looking for more consistent wins to stay in the race for the Big Ten title. Wisconsin too much to bear, though, behind a rushing attack with 2 100-yard performances out of the backfield. Sophomore Braylon Allen rushed for 119, and senior Isaac Guerrendo added 114 in the Badgers' 23-10 win. Here's Locked On Badgers' Ryan Herrings with the recap for us.
Jim Leonard is that dude. The Badgers dominated 6-2 Maryland. I am Ryan Herrings, your host of Locked On Badgers, and it was another impressive performance under interim head coach Jim Leonard as they dominated the line of scrimmage, held Maryland's potent offense down to basically nothing, just one drive out of Maryland of any significance. The Badgers controlled the entire game, and this is the best the Badgers have looked all season long as Jim Leonard continues to put his stamp on this program. The offense is more aggressive, the running game is clicking, the defense looks better, and the Badgers probably found a star in their secondary in Kamoe Latu, the safety transfer out of Utah. This Badgers team is playing with momentum, they're playing with belief, and all of this is just lining up for Jim Leonard to take over this position. I'm Ryan Herrings, your host of Locked On Badgers. For more on the Badgers, check out Locked On Badgers, your team every single day.
After a loss to the Buckeyes, Penn State looked to correct its wrongs this week against the Hoosiers. Penn State is still 3rd in the Big Ten East, and if they have any hopes of climbing those rankings, they need a better effort from quarterback Sean Clifford, who threw 3 interceptions in the loss to Ohio State. Now facing an Indiana team with only one conference victory to its name. Locked On Nittany Lions host Zach Sako has the breakdown for us.
Hey, it's Zach Sako with Locked On Nittany Lions doing a Locked On Now. Penn State wins 45-14 on the road at Indiana. The win really didn't make a difference. And the saying goes, when you go into these types of games with bad weather, the things that travel with you are your running game and your defense. And that's exactly what happened today for Penn State. 16 tackles for loss. Over 60 yards pushed back against Indiana in that process. I mean, Penn State's defense had a great day. Those tackles for losses, the 6 sacks that they put up, 5 of them coming from the defensive line. And how about Katron Allen? In the air, on the ground, 3 touchdowns. Fat man did it all. And Penn State's now 7-2 and honestly could be well on their way to a 10-2 record. My name's Zach Sako, and this is Locked On Nittany Lions.
Well, you never like to lose to your rival, but the Spartans' loss to Michigan was discouraging at best. That 29-7 loss couldn't come at a worse time, as this week Michigan State had to turn around and visit an Illinois team that's been on fire, sitting on top of the Big Ten West and on a 6-game win streak. Illinois ranked in the top 20 now, running all over opponents thanks to the backfield effort of Chase Brown. Now those guys are poised for a Big Ten championship game appearance. Locked On Illini's Ricky Widmer gives us his post-game reaction.
Number 16 Illinois falls to Michigan State, final score 23-15. The 6-game winning streak for the Illini is over, but it didn't have to be. Illinois hurting itself and missing opportunities on the way to the 8-point loss. In this matchup for Illinois, 3 different times in which it turned the ball over on downs in the red zone. And also for the Illini, 3 punts, a combined 63 yards, 21 yards per punt on the game. Those kind of mistakes end up leading to a loss for Illinois, despite 136 yards on the ground from Chase Brown and 288 and 2 touchdowns from Tommy DeVito. The numbers were there, the execution was not. Illinois still has a game lead in the Big Ten West thanks to everything else that happened in the division today, but the big game against Purdue just got a whole lot bigger next week.
Week 10 in the Big Ten saw the powers stay powerful, but we did see a few close calls there. Each and every week, we will continue to bring you all the insight and analysis from across our Locked On network. I'm Jordan Black, and this has been Game to Game Big Ten Edition.